Yo, what's good? It's your bro Lo, and I'm bringing you guys another saucy trading video. Today I'm gonna go over a strategy that has never been told. Actually, it's been told, but not this way. Okay. Before I get into the video, just know that I am not a financial advisor. I am just your regular trader, regular guy, giving you guys non-financial advice. Okay. So everything is educational purposes only. All right. So whatever you do with your money, I have nothing to do with that. All right. So today we're gonna go over the break and retest, but I'm gonna give you guys confluence. I'm gonna give you guys rules that you can use to build a nice little profitable system around and make your break and retest elite. Now, this is not for SMC, my average audience, the SMC audience. This is not for you guys. This is for people who are still in retail concepts, who haven't transitioned over to SMC yet, or hasn't transitioned over completely. And this might even give you make it easier for you to transition as well. But I'm about to give you guys some sauce. So let's get right into this. So there is one thing that I do want to go over, and this is just liquidity. This is just a quick rundown. You know how when you're trading, right, you have this resistance area right here. Okay, now in this resistance right here, there's orders that are being built up here. People are selling here, selling here. So where would you put your stop loss as as you're trading this, right? You would put it right above this area, right above here, right? This is where your stop loss would be. Okay, now liquidity is this, okay, where stops are. Okay, buy stops, stops where that you would put if you would get into a sell. And then on the opposite side, this would be sell stops, right? Sell stops being built up in here, right? All in here, people getting into buys. So, their stop losses are in here and sell stops are in here. Okay, when this gets rated, this is liquidation. Okay, this is stops being taken. All right, so that's just one thing that I did want to go over. Okay, just remember that. All right, right there. All right, so now that you understand that, let's get right into the strategy. So when you look at this, right, you would see this as a broken resistance turn support, broken resistance turn support, and this is how people would normally trade the break and retest. Okay, now this is not what you're gonna do. You're gonna look for something different. Okay, so remember that thing that I was showing you guys with liquidity being built up, right? Resistance and support, right? And you would look for those to get rated, and it would be called liquidation, right? Raid, right? And then raid, right? So this got rated and this got rated. So it's basically called a stop hunt, right? Now for one of the confluences, you're not gonna look to trade any of the lows that are built up like this. Okay, you see how this low right here never took out this low, or any of these lows right here never took out any lows. You know what I mean? So whenever you're looking for structure, whenever you're looking at your structure, you want to see lows get taken out. Okay, you want to see lows get taken out before the break of structure. Okay, lows taken out before the break of the highs. All right, so that's one thing you want to look for. So let's go ahead and write that down. Okay, so I'm about to give you guys some rules. Let's do this. Okay, so one. Okay, now for the strategy, right, the model, you want to see lows being taken. Okay, lows being taken, lows or highs being taken. I'm sorry, lows or highs being taken before moving in your bias, the direction of your bias. Okay, the next thing that you want to see is a clean break of structure. Okay, so when price is moving, right, say price is moving and you know you're getting higher highs, higher lows, right? You don't want to see structure, you know, you don't want to see no choppiness and then a break, right? You have a resistance being built up, right? And then you have a move down, and then you start having some more choppiness and then a break and then all of that. You don't want to see that, okay? You don't want none of that. You just want to see a clean break. And I'm gonna tell you guys why you want to see that clean break and that clean move up when we get into real data, okay? So you want to see a clean break of structure. So I'm giving you guys a few rules that you could build your plan off of, okay? Clean break of structure of resistance. Let's say resistance, okay? Resistance or support, okay? The third thing that you want to see is price trending, okay? Clear trend, okay? Clear trend. At least 2 breaks of structure in your direction, okay? So go ahead and write these 3 down right here. Okay, now once you have your breaks of structure, right, your 2 consecutive, so let's say you have a downtrend right here, right, and this was your first break here, okay, you will wait for this one to start looking for a setup. So once price does this, right, once price does this, okay, you get your clean break, right, no choppiness, clean move, no price action in between this. Once it comes back down to your area of support or resistance, depending on the opposite side, you want to see, once we come into here, clear indication to get in, okay? And I'm gonna give you guys 2 things that you could look for to get into that trade, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, all right, boom. Now the first thing that you want to see is a engulfing or a 3 variation pattern, okay? So what you would look for is a move down right into that area, okay? Let's pretend there's wicks in this, okay? And then you want to see a nice engulfing candle. Now what you want to see with that engulfing is price closing. Okay, let's say this is the wick of this down candle, okay? You want to see price closing above that wick. All right, after you get that clear indication, okay, make sure this is almost on the same time frame as this whole move right here, okay? Don't scale down too fast. Don't, if this is like a 1 hour chart, don't go right to the 5 minute or 1 minute time frame looking for engulfing. If you do that on a 1 minute time frame, you want to look for multiple, okay? Multiple. Now if you get this price action on a relative time frame as close to this, okay, at least half the same time frame or half, you want to see an engulfing. And then once you get that engulfing, you will wait for price to come back down just a little bit and tap into the open of that down candle, okay? And then you enter here with your stops below the zones, okay, this zone. All right, and then you will look for displacement higher. All right, so that's one that you will look for. Okay, I'm gonna write all these down for you over here. Okay, then you will look for, here's another one. Okay, boom, and boom. Okay, you will look for this. Okay, so this is a 3 variation pattern. Okay, one same thing. Let's say the wicks. Okay, you want to see it close above that wick. Okay, for more confirmation, for more of a higher probability of this working out, once price pulls back to the open of this down candle, okay, you're gonna look for an entry here. Okay, entry here as soon as it comes into the open, which is stops below your zone, okay, or the low. All right, and then you will look for a displacement higher, and this would be your first target. Okay, So that's your three, that's two confirmations that you will look for, either those two. Another one will be, okay, two consecutive wick rejections, okay, pin bars as you would call it. Okay, you want to see two, at least two of these. Okay, if it's the same relative time frame, all right, you want to at least see two of these on that relative time frame. If you have it, maybe three, okay, before you get into that position. Depending on if you know you're kind of used to the strategy, you could wait for one. All right, but make sure you're doing the same thing. You're looking for the same thing consistently, okay, and you're constantly taking that same trade. All right, so that's what you would look for. So let's go ahead and write this down. Okay, confirmations will be engulfing, enter when price pulls back to the candle, to the open of the candle that got engulfed. Or it could just tap right back into it. Okay, even if it's the wick, you can enter off of there, but you know, I'm just training you to enter at the engulfing. Okay, so that's one. Second, variation pattern. You want to do the same thing, variation pattern, same thing. Okay, enter when price pulls back to the open of the candle, okay, the first candle. All right, and then three, wick rejections. Okay, wick rejections, at least 2 to 3. Okay, so that's what you're looking for with this strategy. So you want to look for lows or highs being taken before the displacement higher the break of structure. So you see how this low took out these lows, okay, this low took out this low and then broke higher. Okay, so that's what you want to look for. Clean break of that resistance or support area. Okay, clean break, right? No choppiness. Clear trend, at least 2 breaks of structure in your direction. So if this is trending downwards and you get this right here, that's your first break. Your second break, that's your entry, and then your confirmation would be inside of that zone. All right, so I'm gonna leave this on the right. Actually, I gotta do this. So make sure you guys write this down, and then we could get right into some live data. So let's do that. Actually forgot one more thing that you know, it's more of a confluence mainly that you want to look for. So let's say you have from this low to this high, right? This is a move like this. Okay, now there's this thing called premium and discount. Okay, it's basically a fib from low to high. Okay, low to high. Below 50, okay, is a discount, and above 50 is at a premium. So whenever you're bullish and you want to buy below the 50. You want to buy in discount, okay? And whenever you're bearish and you have a structure having a displacement down, you want to sell above premium, okay? So that's another thing. So let's go on and write that down. Don't worry, like I said, we're going to go over a few chart examples, okay? Premium and discount. Okay, so there we go. So now let's get into the live data, the live examples. Okay, so the first pair that I want to go over, which is really nice, is gold. So when you look at gold, okay, you can see that gold came up to this resistance right here, okay, and then they started selling off here. Okay, so this is your first break of structure right here, okay, right here. Now as you can see, price took out this high, okay. You see how you have these two relative highs right here. This high is higher than this high and this high, right? So it's a build up right here, okay, and then you have this run up Okay, you have this run up, takes liquidity, breaks support. Okay, now when you see that break, this is what I mean by a clean break. Okay, a very clean break is when you see a clean movement down below. Okay, you see how there's no price action in between from this move here, from this candle's low to the end of this candle, to this candle's right here. Okay, there's no price action in here. This is called a imbalance. Okay, in smart money terms. Okay, FVG. This is a clean break. This is what you want to see. Okay, when price pulls back, you wait for your confirmation. Now for the rules. Right now I'm just giving you guys a full set of rules. All right, if you want to take it, this is aggressive, right? If you want to take it on the first break, it's aggressive because the trend, right, is bullish right now. You see higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. The trend is bullish right now. Okay, but we came up to this resistance and stalled. We came up to this premium, broke structure down. You take this is aggressive. Okay, what you want to wait for is this break right here. Okay, so look, same thing, right? Same thing. You have these highs built up right here. Okay, you see these highs? You have this move up that takes out these two highs, and then this breakdown. When you get that break, look what you have. Look, clean move. No choppiness, no nothing. Clean move, no price action inside of these long candles, right? It's no price action. Look at this candle right here. Look at this candle. Look, from this low of this candle, the low of the wick, to the low of this candle, to the high of the next candle, right? There's no price action in between. So that's your confluence that you want to use with your support turn to resistance. Okay, expect price to come into this this area of imbalance, right, with your support area. Okay, and then you got your wick rejection right here. All right, and then look what we have after the rejection. It might be something on the 1 hour. Okay, might be something on the 1 hour, but we're gonna stick to this 4 hour real quick. You can see how price ran up. Look, you even have two highs built up right here. Okay, price ran up, took out these two highs into your support turn resistance, break and retest. You have an engulfing here, and look what we have. Your entry will be at the open of the candle that got engulfed. Okay, with your stops right above your resistance area. Okay, now it depends on you and your personality to how you want to, you know, plant your stop loss. Okay, as long as you get a 1 to 2 risk reward, probabilities are going to work out in your favor of you being profitable. Okay, so when we came up to this resistance, here's another tip, right? Whenever you have a run like this where two highs get ran like this, relative equal highs, or just a high, it gets ran and then the up candle gets engulfed. Okay, you could keep your stops a little bit more aggressively because you will expect this up candle, right, to hold. Okay, you expect it to hold. All right, especially if you have a liquidity hunt right here before it came into your point of interest, right, which is your resistance. Okay, and then you have this meltdown, which is a 1 to 2. Okay, even if you took this here, you have one rejection, right? You don't want to see these little small rejections like this as much. Okay, but I bet you on a lower time frame, there's a candle that got engulfed, and this candle had wicked into it, right? And that would have been your entry, or you could have entered here with your stops right above, and then aim for a 1 to 2. All right, after this support gets reached, you will put your stops to break even, right? And then aim for that 1 to 2, or depending on your, you know, your personality, you might build something else around this. Okay, I'm just giving you guys what to look for, the confirmation, the confluence, right? Okay, clear trend, there you go. Okay, now look what we have here. Okay, you have a rundown break, inside of all of this is breaks and retests. This little, let's clear this out. This little small price action right here is breaks and retests right here of the same thing, because you see how this down move was right here. Okay, this clean down move on a lower time frame is a trend, right? It's another trend. Maybe on a 30-minute hourly, it's a trend. A confirmation was in here to sell again. Okay, now but since we're sticking on this time frame, you can see that we moved. We had a breakdown right here. Now we're not looking for a pullback. Once price breaks here, we're not looking for this, right? Because guess what? It's not at a premium. We didn't come above the 50%, right? We need this to move a little bit lower. That way, once we draw our fibs, it can at least come back to 50%. Okay, like these two, like this one here, 50%. Let me show you guys this one here. Okay, look, 50%, and this one right here from this swing high to this swing low. It came up to the 50%. 61.8 is somewhere inside of here. That's lined up with this resistance area, which is more confluence. Okay, and a clear trend. 2 breaks of structures, right? You have 1, you have 2. This is your entry right here, because it broke this one and it broke this one, right? And then your targets will be your areas of support, okay, or resistance, whatever. All right, let's look right here. Okay, look at this. You have a move up, swing up, okay, and then a swing down. What happened before that swing down? Okay, you have this high right here. You see this high? This high got ran out by this high. This is what you want to see. Even if you have a build up afterwards, this is what you want to see first. Clean. You want it to be clear and clean. Okay, and then you have a breakdown here. Okay, look what got left. All right, this is your, this right here is your support, turn resistance. Okay, break and retest. Okay, now what do you have inside of there? Look, clean. Look, there's no price action from this candle's low right here, okay, to this next candle, right after the candle that prints, this next candle. There's no price action in between. Okay, you can expect price to come into that with your support, turn resistance. Okay, and then you have your breakdown right here. All right, maybe on a time frame, let's see on the hourly real quick. Okay, so looking at the hourly, let's zoom in. You can see that price came into it and it gave a variation pattern. Now you can see that price right here, maybe on the 30-minute, it created this an engulfing, and then it came back into it, because you can see how this up candle was formed, and then you see this down move. It didn't close, but on maybe on the 30-minute it did. But you would want to see on the relative time frame a candle close below here. Now here's your variation when you had this candle close right here below all of this. So what you would have expected was price to pull back into this up candle right here. Okay, and that would be your entry with your stops above this resistance zone, okay, or above here, depending on, you know, your plan. Because I want you guys to backtest this. I want you guys to backtest this, start implementing it, start building a plan around this, okay? And this is all you need. This is your holy grail right here. If, you know what I'm saying, you stay consistent, you keep your emotions in check, you know what I'm saying, you build a solid plan around here and you follow it consistently, okay? You stay disciplined with it. You can make a lot of money with this. When I first started trading, I traded break and retest, okay? But I didn't trade it like this. I traded break and retest, the regular, you know, the regular strategy, regular breaks and retests, okay? And I got my first FTMO account with that. And I actually got a withdrawal with it. And, you know, later in my, you know, trading career, that's when I went into smart money concepts, you know what I mean? But this is the things that I wish I would have known, right? Because I'm bringing you guys some smart money into this break and retest strategy to make it more probable, okay? This whole thing is more, this right here, what I'm showing you guys is gonna make your breaks and retests more effective, more elite, more probable. Okay, so this is what you want to look for. It didn't come into that, but you can see you had the displacement lower. But guess what? You don't take it. You don't chase it. All right. You either get your wick rejections, and then you enter after the wick rejections. Okay. After the wick rejections in the close, or you enter after engulfing when it pulls back into it, or you enter after variation pattern when it pulls back into it. Okay. With your stops above where you deem comfortable. All right. So there you go. There's one. Let's see if we could go to another pair. Okay, I did cherry pick this this price section, all this price section right here, because this is the most cleanest. This is what you want to see. So you train your eyes to see this because you'll see it in other pairs. Okay, so let's go to more pairs. All right. Okay, now looking at GU, you can see that GU, okay, in this price data was bearish here. Okay. And then you started to have your first break right here of resistance here. Okay, through all this mess, okay, this is just all right here. You don't want to focus on that. You want to focus on clean resistance areas being broken. Okay, that's one break. Okay, after you get that first break, now we're paying attention to what's going on. Okay, you can see that you have a resistance right here that got built up here. All right, right there. And then you can see how it was too choppy around this area. So we're not focused on that now. Now we come here. Let's delete that. We have another one that got built up here. Okay. So this high was built up here, right here. So we're going to do this up candle right here. Okay. And then you can see how, look what happened. You have these lows being built up. Right here, this low got ran here. Okay, you have more of a build up here, and then that low got ran here. Okay, you don't want to see this build up like this. You don't want to see this. Okay, you don't want to see a build up like this. All right, with no lows being ran. Okay, you want to see that low get ran and then a move. Okay, right after the low gets ran. A low gets ran, you want to see a move higher. Okay, this right here you really don't want to see like that. Okay, even though this low took out these lows right here and then it moved up, you don't want to see it build up like this afterwards. After it runs down and then moves up, you want to see a clean break. Okay, now if it did run down and take this out and then it pulled back a little bit and then ran up, that's still fine, but you don't want to see a build up like this because you know people are getting in here. Okay, you know people are getting in here, stops are all below there getting built up, and it's more of a probability that price is going to run that a lot more. Okay, now if it's bullish and you know it's a bullish trend, then it's not going to be as really as probable that price is going to run this and come down here. Okay, but you know a lot of time you know sometimes price will run this right here and then move up. Okay, so this is what you want to see here. You see how this low got ran. Okay, you have a clean break. Okay, now even though it was a little bit of this going on right here, it was still a clean move. Okay, because you have no price action in between here. You have no price action in between here. It was no choppiness. It was no choppiness when price price was not playing in here. Okay, so that's good. You're good. Okay, now if it did do this right here, let's say this happened right here, this is still your resistance area right here, but you don't want to see lows be built up right here. You want to see this low right here take out these two lows right here before the move up if you're going to take this now. Okay, but right here, okay, you have this move right here. Okay, and then this is your resistance, and then you have this down move right here, variation pattern here, close above. You will wait for a price to come back in here, but it didn't. Okay, it didn't and ran out this high. So now we're focused on this resistance right here. Okay, now you can see how you had a move up, this up candle right here created a move down, right? This is your new resistance here. Okay, now why wouldn't I really want to take this? Why is that? Because when you draw this fib from the low to the high, okay, it didn't, this resistance didn't line up with the 50%. Now once it came back into 50%, right, 50%, and then you had your confirmation, that's when you would take it. You don't want to take it here because it broke past this up candle right here, this resistance. All right, you don't want to take that. That's a no-go, right? So we'll leave that alone. We didn't get our confirmations. All right, now when we come back down, look at this, we have a swing up. Look, swing up here. Okay, you have a swing up like this. This whole move is like a swing. All right, then you have price run down. We're still bullish because we didn't get 2 breaks of structures. We broke this little this support right here, okay, but we didn't get a pullback in another break. All right, you need 2 breaks for you to be like, okay, now we're bearish. All right, now as you can see, price came back into this resistance. All right, and then you can see how price never closed below any of this. Okay, this little up candle, it never closed below it. All right, it never closed below your support. So what did we have? We had a nice engulfing on that same relative time frame of that up candle. Now when you're drawing out your support and resistance, most people would draw it out like this. Okay, you would draw it out like this would be my resistance turn support. No, that's what you don't want to do. I mean, not that you don't want to do, but it's much better if you take the last up candle, right, or consecutive up candles, and you draw it out. You draw it out, that last up candle before that down move, okay, that turned into, that broke, right, to turn into support, turn resistance. You would take this up candle right here, the whole thing, and draw it out. Okay, you had an engulfing here, and then what do we wait for? We wait for price to come back into the open of that down candle that got engulfed, and you would take your entry right there and then aim for your resistance or your targets, at least a 1 to 2 risk to reward. And then your stop can be either below this, since it was a long up down candle and you would expect this down candle to hold, or you could keep it, be a little bit more conservative, aim for that 1 to 2, right? And then there you go, right there, there's your another trade. All right, so that was just another example. Even though, you feel me, this was a resistance and it broke, you could still take this one right here, because look, you still have a clean break, and then look what you have right here. You still have no price section in between this right here. Okay, in between this. Now you would like to see this right here, which is no price section, inside of your zone, but since it's here, right, and it came into that and it's still closed, the bodies of the candle still closed inside of here, right, and you have your confirmation, there's your entry. Okay, now if you had 2 consecutive breaks like this, like if it came up, right, if it came up and then had another breakdown like this, you wouldn't really want to start looking for buys anymore. You want to start looking for sells. If it does that and you want to start taking buys again, you will have to wait until this breaks, right, a pullback, and then another break of structure, and then you take your buys inside of here with the same confluence, the same model, the same thing, do the same thing, same trading plan, same risk management, right, same trade management, same confirmations, right. Whatever you do with this, make sure you're doing the same thing consistently, and that's your edge, that's your holy grail, right? Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys go back through previous price action and data, and look for this, train your eyes for it. Now before I go, I just wanted to say that when you're trading this, okay, you can trade multiple pairs, okay, but make sure if you're gonna trade multiple pairs, stick to the daily 4 hour, right? Stick to the higher time frames and entries on a 1 hour 30 minute, okay, and just go through pairs and wait for the setup. Make sure all the rules align, right? Make sure it's a clear trend, make sure all these rules align, and if it doesn't, it's gonna be deemed low probable, and you might want to risk a little bit less, but try to aim for waiting for these setups right here, this setup right here, okay? Now, this same model, this same setup happens on, you know, all time frames, okay? Because it's price is fractal, all right? And if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna scalp this, make sure you're only trading few pairs, okay? 2 to 3 pairs, all right? But if you're trading on a daily, 4-hour, weekly, you could have all major pairs, okay, in here, and then wait for this setup. And this is your plan. This is your model, all right? So like I was saying, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and smash that like button. Make sure you share this video with people who might like this, who trade break and retest. You know, share this with them. Okay, share this to people that want to you know, start getting into smart money, but they, you know, they haven't figured out how to get into it, or you know you know, they want to get in. This is what I just gave you guys is you know, a good way to shift over. You know what I mean? But if you don't completely shift over, you could just use this. All right, so you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a good trading week. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.